Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh man, okay. I just saw the movie Horns immediately after finishing the novel. It's probably not a good idea to do in anything really. Don't do that. The novel is fantastic. It was my first. It was like, I mean, I guess I don't have a lot of context to compare it to other horror novels because it was one of my first. But I really enjoyed it. And you got 400 pages to establish these relationships and get the build up going, and comparing it to a 2-hour movie directed by the guy who did The Hills Have Eyes, like it was such a disappointment. Okay, all right, let's talk about this. Oh man, Daniel Radcliffe stars, and he is like legitimate. He's the core of this movie. He does a great job. He's like one of the few likable things about it. The casting is really good at parts. For the flashback scenes that are a huge part of the book, they found some really good child actors who look a lot like Daniel Radcliffe, who is the lead, Iggy Parrish, versus Juno Temple, who is Maren Williams, and they found child actors who look just like them. And for the other parts, they combined characters. They added new characters who didn't need to be there. Heather Graham, like some of the stuff just did not need to happen. The book is so much better. Please read the book, or watch the movie first and then read the book and appreciate that more. And that's kind of how movie adaptations from books go. Okay, Daniel Radcliffe. The book itself is more of a mishmash of genres. It's a horror thriller kind of thing, but it has a very romantic subplot, and the characters are very well written, and it's bitingly funny, and it was a great read. And I need to read more and experience that more, because man, that was a good time I had reading that book. But the movie. You get very little of that. You get okay, these people are in love, I guess, and then why is she acting this way? What's the motivation? Why didn't they cast the blonde actor as the person who's supposed to play the blonde guy, Lee Tourneau? Like why is Max Minghella the bad guy? He's a likable guy. I don't want to see him as a bad guy, and he gives a very bipolar performance. It's just like, oh, okay, am I rooting for you? I don't understand what, and I don't know if it's a director. The screenplay isn't that great. Whoever wrote the screenplay like got the best parts of the book and just tore them up and just like flushed them in the toilet, along with my dignity and my ambitions. Like it was okay. Oh man, just like, and there are parts of it like there were flashes of brilliance. The last 20 minutes, I was like, the last 20 minutes besides the last 8 were really good. And I was like, this is a great time. Like these characters are starting to flesh out. The CGI is really good. The set piece is really coming together. But the decisions made throughout to omit stuff from the book and to add needless things, like it's set in Seattle maybe, and the novel is set in New Hampshire, but they're both the town of Gideon. And Terry Parrish, Iggy's older brother, he's like a famous musician, like a young Johnny Carson type who has his own show and stuff. But in the movie, he fronts like a shitty ska band who plays in this small, sleepy Washington town. Like it falls into a lot of tropes, and I really didn't. I don't know. The first hour and a half, I'd give it like a 3 out of 10. The last 20 minutes besides the last 8, I'd give like a 7, 8 out of 10. I was like, this is good. I like this. And then it does some bad stuff. The character, oh man, the casting. Glenna is supposed to be a fat chick with tattoos, and they cast the girl who was in Lars and the Real Girl, who I fell in love with, who's like this beautiful blonde vixen, and I love her. And like, okay, and I understand Hollywood. Like you gotta make decisions, and people want to read stuff, and then they want to see stuff. And I feel like I was robbed of a good movie experience. I think it could have been a lot better. I'm not saying I can write a better screenplay. Maybe I could. give me some give me some time and I probably could. I don't know. It's okay. Let's go back to the casting. This is so disjointed. This is the worst. I'm so full of emotions right now because it's been the last 4 hours of my life. I'm like, okay, this is a great novel, and then like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible movie. I don't like this at all. The casting, the guy who plays Terry Parrish, Daniel Radcliffe's older brother, they look nothing alike. I don't know what this decision was for that. The only thing they have in common is they both have patchy facial hair. Not like Apache, like Native American, but they both have facial hair. And like, okay, yeah, they can be brothers. Like, no, that's not believable. Do something a little different. If they had the actors switch around, where Max Minghella, who's like of like Indian descent, he could play Daniel Radcliffe's brother better than the Joe Anderson, whatever the guy they had play his older brother. They just switch roles. That's so easy. And Daniel Radcliffe, he's doing an American accent versus his normal British tongue, and he does a great job for the most part. But there's parts he's like everything, like he says everything a lot, and it's like, okay, I can tell. And I'm not going to front him too much for that because for the most part I was like, okay, he's doing a great job. But the guy who plays his brother has like a heavy New York accent, and he fronts a ska band, and he plays the trumpet, and like, I need some consistency. The songs used throughout, the book is very heavily laden with like the Rolling Stones undertones, and like there's a lot of Mick Jagger references and Keith Richards and stuff. There's none of that in the movie. There's a David Bowie song, Heroes. That's a great song, and it plays twice. And some weird, like some other music that plays that doesn't fit the tone. And the tone is the main criticism for me, because it goes from the movie starts off crime, how are we going to solve this crime, into comedy. Oh my gosh, this is super funny. His horns give him the power to read people's minds. This is super funny. And to like the romantic subplot, which is in the book, which is throughout, and it's played really well. And then into there's a twist, and then it really picks up after the conflicting incident about an hour and 15 minutes in the movie, and after that it gets a little better. But there's so much that's lost in this film, and I mean, I'd recommend it if you like Daniel Radcliffe. I like almost everything Daniel Radcliffe is in. He's great to see in this movie. I like seeing him, and if he didn't lead it, if he wasn't the person if he wasn't so fun to watch, if he didn't have that charisma on screen, this movie would be so much worse than it is. Juno Temple gives a good performance when you realize her motivations, and that doesn't happen until like the last 10 minutes, and you're like, why is she so flat? What is happening? I don't like this character. Like, why do I root for her? She got murdered. Spoilers, that's in every tagline for this movie. He's avenging her murder. And there's also a revenge porn, like, oh man, Daniel Radcliffe, get the killer, who's it gonna be? And you figure it out too quickly, and it's just like, okay, why are people acting this way? I don't know. I mean, go see it. It's Halloween. Go see Nightcrawler. I haven't seen that yet. I'll probably see it tonight. I like Jake Gyllenhaal more than I like. If it was just Jake Gyllenhaal staring at a screen for 2 hours, I'd probably like it better than this movie. I guess 4 out of 10 overall, because there's some parts that are really good, and they implement some writing from the novel into it really good, and some lines, the devil underneath and horns. It's just so underwhelming and bad. And just keep in mind, this is coming from me. I literally just finished the novel 2 hours and 15 minutes ago, and then I immediately downloaded the movie on iTunes, and I watched it. And so like this is I'm very filled with feelings right now. Anyway, it's like 4 a.m, so I'm gonna go to bed. You guys have a great whatever time of day you're watching this, and go read some books. Go read Horns by Joe Hill and have a great time. And if you feel reckless, go watch the movie or whatever. I'm just pixels on a screen. Good things. Goodbye.